Radio, keeping you informed.
Demerara and Essequibo 99.1 FM.
Burby's 99.5 FM. Kaieteur Radio.
Welcome to your news at noon on Kaieteur Radio. I'm Kevin Smith. Let's get to the news in detail. Despite exhausting an $11.6 million loan from the Inter-American Development Bank, Guyana appears to have ignored key recommendations, especially as it relates to contract administration and cost management in the oil sector. According to the project completion report on the loan, Guyana was advised back in 2019 to be mindful of the pace at which it is ramping up oil production, as it could not only put a strain on already limited and inexperienced resources, but also allow for weaknesses in proper governance. It also urged Guyana to put in place a law that deals with cost control procedures that ought to be followed by ExxonMobil and its partners, which benefit from an extensive list of tax exemptions on an uncapped number of items to support its operations. The IDB stressed, too, that operationalizing robust cost accounting rules and other protocols are key to reducing losses during administration of the PSA. Meanwhile, ExxonMobil subsidiary Esso is maintaining its contention that Kaieteur News publisher Lall stepped outside his boundary when he moved to the High Court to challenge the government of Guyana's decision to grant extensive tax waivers to the oil operator and its affiliates. In its submission, the Exxon oil subsidiary, which sought extra time from the court to seek expert advice on the matter, outlined a number of grounds in which it contends is valid enough for the court to toss out Lall's application. Further, the oil company reasoned that for the court to entertain declaratory relief in private law proceedings, the applicant Lall must show an act or omission had infringed or threatened to infringe any right of the applicant derived from private law. And in other news, a robbery victim has accused the police of replacing his gold jewelry with artificial ones at the Anna Regina police station. Investigators said that they have launched an investigation to find out how it happened and are currently awaiting the return of a case file from the DPP, Shalimar Alehak, to proceed with the matter. However, according to the robbery victim, Parmesh Ramdahin, his jewelry turned artificial almost 2 years ago, and to date, the investigation is yet to be completed. Ramdahin said that in 2019, his home was broken into, and carted off were 3 gold chains worth more than $176,000, a gold band valued at $93,800, and 2 gold rings with a total price tag of $16,100. The items were later found by Ramdahin and handed over to the Anna Regina police station as evidence. The suspect was charged, placed before the court, and later jailed for 6 months. Ramdahin said that when the court case was over, he decided to uplift the lodged gold jewelry from the police, but when he got there, he said he got back the bands and the rings and the pendant for the chains, but the chains were switched. Police decided to launch an investigation into the misplaced gold chains, but almost 2 years have passed and police are yet to solve the mystery. It is understood that the jewelry had passed through the hands of 2 police officers after it was lodged as evidence, but it is unclear if investigators had investigated them as suspects. And moving on, upon considering the merits of an appeal by a transparency and civil society activist, the Environmental Assessment Board, or EAB, has ordered to conduct an environmental impact assessment of the cumulative impacts that would accrue from its 24-well program for the Kaieteur and Kanji blocks. According to the board report, one formal appeal dated April 9th was received from environmentalist Simone Mangaljoli regarding the EPA's decision to waive the environmental impact assessment requirement for 2 projects, the Kanji Block 12 well exploration and appraisal drilling campaign and the Kaieteur Block 12 well exploration and appraisal drilling campaign. This appeal is in response to the EPA's public notice dated March 13th, notifying of its decision to not require an assessment for the project. Meanwhile, Suraj Ganpat, the Berbice man who reportedly confessed to stabbing his ex-wife to death on Monday, has surrendered to police. Commander of the Region 6 Police District, Budnarain Prasad, confirmed that the wanted man turned himself in after 19 hours on Thursday in the company of his father at the Central Police Station located in New Amsterdam. Ganpat is accused of killing his 25-year-old ex-wife Cindy Ramchandar around 8 hours on Monday. She was attacked and killed at Quarantine Berbice while heading to a cousin's home. And just before we head to a short break, let's tell you that Auditor General Deodat Sharma has highlighted that citizens concerned with the unsettling allegations of Chinese businessman Zhi Rongsu, who has accused members of the government, particularly Vice President Bawar Jagdeo, of illegal activities as a state official, must write a letter to the independent office requesting an investigation into the matter. The Auditor General said that he does have the power to probe public officials involved in illegal matters where state assets are concerned, but they must make a written request to have the office look into the matter. You listen to Kaieteur Radio 99.1 and 99.5 FM. This is your news at noon. We'll take a short break and return.
This is GHK Lall, inviting you to join me weekdays from Monday to Friday on the National Outlook for commentary on a range of issues, immediately after the 12 noon and 7 p.m. newscasts on Kaieteur Radio at 99.1 FM and 99.5 FM. Looking forward to you sharing in the conversation.
Crazy. It's easy like 1, 2, 3. Can't believe all this money for me, money for me. I got to get the CASH. That's the code for the vault, so let's play. Top up with 1,000 and the next day you could be a millionaire. Did you sell?
More than 15 million to grab this summer. Top up with $1,000 or more to collect the letters to spell CASH.
For a chance to catch millions in the Digicel's cash vault.
Top up today.
Did you sell?
Welcome back. Let us continue with the news. Crime scene experts had a busy Thursday after 2 unidentified bodies were discovered at separate locations across the capital city. The first was found floating in a trench at Montrose on the east coast of Demerara. Crime scene experts profiled the body to be that of a man of East Indian descent. Police said that no marks of violence were seen on the remains, and it is difficult to determine if foul play was involved because of the decomposed state. Investigators will now have to wait on an autopsy to determine how the unidentified man met his demise. Meanwhile, about an hour later, police received a report of another body. This time it was in the Demerara River, located in the vicinity of Tiger Bay. The corpse was reportedly spotted around 12 hours 25, and according to police, it was badly decomposed. Crime scene experts reported that the remains were clad in a pair of gray three-quarter pants. Investigations are ongoing. And a camp that sells fuel at Etteringban Cuyuni River in Region 7 on Thursday caught fire, forcing its occupants to seek safety up a nearby hill. We were told that the camp is owned by a man called Adrian Taylor and that the fire erupted around midnight. The cause of the fire is unknown at this time, and according to Commander of the Region 7 District, Dion Moore, his investigators have not received any reports suggesting that it could have been deliberately set. According to reports, the occupants of the camp are lucky to escape unharmed. And in other news, 20 families whose homes were bulldozed by the Ministry of Housing earlier this year were compensated on Thursday. The demolition exercise took place in Phase 4 Amelia's Ward housing scheme, Linden. The affected families were invited to sign their agreements and uplift their checks during an exercise at Watuka House on Thursday. The checks were presented by Minister of Housing and Water Colin Crowell. In his remarks, the minister thanked the persons for their patience exhibited throughout the process, as he reminded them that the ministry will continue to work to fulfill the housing demand in Region 10 and outlined several housing development plans for the region. And in other news, the Ministry of Health has reported 2 additional COVID-19 deaths, bringing the total number of deaths from the pandemic to 1,274. According to the ministry, both men, 76 and 82, were unvaccinated. They hailed from Region 3 and 7. All Guyanese are being encouraged to continue to observe the public health measures set out by the Ministry of Health. And as usual, this time we turn pages of page 7 of today's Kaieteur News that is dedicated to being blunt. What's all the secrecy about? For the second time, Works Minister and Bishop Juan Egil is refusing to tell the public which communities are going to benefit from monies accessed in the supplementary fund that his ministry received from Parliament. In the Parliament, the place where citizens are supposed to get answers about what government is doing with their money, the minister refused to say which miscellaneous roads will be upgraded and which communities will see sea and river defense works. His argument is that he does not want to interrupt social cohesion and have one community complaining as work is being done in another. Are citizens really supposed to accept this nonsense? This is $3 billion for miscellaneous roads and another $550 million for sea and river defense work, and this man is telling Guyanese that they cannot know where their money is being spent. This is the same minister that claimed that under the previous government work was done in communities while others were abandoned. He must then show how equitably the funds are being distributed for upgrade works. The government cannot continue to hide our oil and gas information, our gold, diamond and other contracts, and now tell citizens that they are not saying where a road will be built or upgrade. What is all this secrecy about? And that brings us to the end of today's main newscast on Kaieteur Radio. I'm Kevin Smith. Thank you for listening. Want value for your advertising dollar? Then place your ads on Kaieteur Radio's newscasts. Streamed live on 6 different mediums, reaching hundreds of thousands. Advertise today and watch your dollar grow. Call us on 225-8465 or 226